My dear friends, there is a classic rabbinic midrash I share in counseling our members who have suffered losses. And in this sacred Jewish legend of the early rabbis, they imagined two boats, or in today's world, two cruise ships at the harbor. One leaving the harbor on a long voyage, the other coming into the harbor at the end of a very long voyage. For the one leaving the harbor, everybody's nervous, not knowing whether the boat will successfully reach its destination, and yet everyone is there to celebrate the big event. They even have ceremonies, send-offs, even though nobody knows what the outcome will be. For the ship coming into the harbor, nobody at all comes to celebrate, even though the journey's over and it's been a successful voyage. The party is always for the ship going out, with almost no notice of the ship coming in. In real life, the Midrash suggests the same paradox often applies. A baby is born, and we feel such joy, as we all should, yet we never know. We never know if that baby will live up to his or her potential, or until modern times, we don't know if the baby will live at all. A person dies, and of course we feel such great sadness, but if a person has made a difference and lived a meaningful life, no matter what their age, should we not feel at least some comfort and contentment? A new baby is pure potential. It's only later in life, or ultimately when life ends, that we can assess the difference a person has made for gracing this world and gracing our lives. That distinction of the boat leaving the harbor we celebrate versus the unnoticed boat coming home leads to an interesting fact about Jewish life in America that's different than where we came from. Before immigrating to America and assimilating into American society, did you know that Jews did not celebrate birthdays? Now, I suspect as the years keep taking their toll, more than a few of us may welcome that news. But the fact is, the Bible only mentions a birthday once in the Jewish Bible. And that was for the one we will read about 3 weeks from tonight, when Passover begins. The only birthday mentioned in the Torah is for the king of Egypt, Pharaoh, whose his whole life was set out for him in advance, but he never seemed to have the will to do the right thing. And he is the only one who celebrates a birthday in the Bible. As most of you know, in Judaism, when we choose to honor a person, to remember them, to celebrate them, we choose their day of death. We call it their personal anniversary, their Yahrzeits, Yiddish for year's time. In America, with a few exceptions like Martin Luther King Jr. on April 4th, we honor heroes in America on their birthdays rather than their Yahrzeits. In Israel, Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin is remembered and honored on the day he died, not the day he was born. In America, George Washington and Abraham Lincoln are remembered around their birthdays. In Judaism, we remember Moses on the day he died, traditionally, the 7th of Adar, 2 weeks ago Thursday, according to tradition, because even if Moses never reached the promised land, without him, Joshua would never have gotten us there. I think this is more than something culturally Jewish. I think it is a major theological statement. What we are when we are born is God's gift to us. What we do with our lives is our gift to God. Each of us, no matter what our age, is invested by God with the power to leave an aspect of this world, or even just one life, a little better because we've been here. And each of us has been invested with the power to fulfill the dreams for which our parents and their parents lived. Tonight, really tomorrow in Chloe, chants from the Torah, we will finish the second book of the Torah, Sefer Shmot, what we call the book of Exodus in English. And interestingly, whenever we complete a book of the Torah, whenever a life ends too, it's common to say to the surviving family what we say with joy as one book of the Torah ends and another begins, and Dan Nichols of the Reform Movement has made famous through a song. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek is what we say. Be strong, and let us strengthen one another. In and through our Kehila Kedosha, this holy congregation of Temple Israel, not only on this Shabbat, but as we've seen with the baby who became a bat mitzvah who becomes confirmed, a confirmation student who gets married and is here 40 years later to celebrate that anniversary. We become a Kehila Kadosha not only tonight, but through every age and stage of our lives. And let us say, Amen.